Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the sixth day of the session. Just we can wait for a few minutes and then we can start maybe for 1 and 2 minutes because I think some of the students are still joining. Okay, we can start the session now. So as yesterday we saw how to develop the window of the game and how to place the snake block over the screen. Okay. So any doubt from yesterday's session? Did you got the yesterday output at your end also? Just I will share my screen. So this is what we have developed yesterday. So we have developed the screen, okay, and we have placed the snake block inside it, and we have implemented the keyboard event in it. Whenever we press any key, there will be movement in the position of the block. I mean the snake. Okay. So before we move forward, today we will be looking over the concept of Python as classes and object. Okay. So we will be also using classes and objects are basically called as object oriented programming. So we'll be using object oriented program, which is a good way to write any code when the, I mean, when there are different stuffs in the code. For example, in this game, there are a different, two different types or two different elements, as one is the snake and one is the complete game and one is the, I mean the apple also. So whenever there's something that we need to deal with differently, for example, we need to write a code where we need to deal with students also, teachers also, and staffs also. So it will be good to use object oriented programming, so we can separate each and every functions and the methods. I mean the functions and methods are same for each category. I mean for students we can write a class, okay, class student, and then we can write all the function for that students. Similarly, we can write for teachers, and then we can write all the functions that are required by for the teachers. and similarly for the staff. Okay, so we will be looking over class and objects now. So अगर क्लास एंड ऑब्जेक्ट्स जो अभी हम लोग देखने वाले हैं वो हम लोग वो जो साइट है ideon.com उस पर ट्राई कर सकते हैं. तो जिनका पाइथन नहीं भी इंस्टॉल है वो भी ट्राई कर सकते हो इवन क्लास एंड ऑब्जेक्ट कॉन्सेप्ट. ओके, सो लेट्स विजिट दैट साइट. Okay, Bhavna, you haven't implemented the draw block function. Okay, so when there's an event key, and I can also see some error in your code as event is written as event is written as event. Okay, and you also need to implement the draw block function. So draw block function is used to, I mean, update the position of the snake whenever a keyboard event is there. So let's look into object oriented programming for now. I am in classes and objects. ओके, सो फॉर एग्जांपल कंसिडर कि एक कार है, ठीक है, और उसके प्रॉपर्टीज हैं दैट नेम इज होंडा, कलर इज रेड एंड द प्राइस इज फॉर एग्जांपल 3 lakhs. Okay, and there's a another, don't consider this car example, let's consider student and teacher example, that will be much better. Okay. Let's consider we need to write a program, okay, where we need to perform some operation on the students and some operation on the teachers. I mean, for the students, we need to print the student details and from when the students have enrolled in the school, okay, and for the teachers, we need to print the teacher details and which subject they are teaching and when they have joined the organization. So, for example, there are two things. For students, we need to print student details, and what we need to print next, we need to print the date of admission, and next thing, let's be address. For teachers, we need to print teacher details and date of joining and address. Okay. So for example, we need to print for each different students these two things. Okay, student details, date of admission and address for students, and teachers details, date of joining and address for teachers. So ये तो है, हम लोग जैसे print करना चाहते हैं, then we can for first solution can we can use the print statement, okay, and then can print for each student. Use print statement to print the details, sorry, for each students. Okay, next thing what we can do, we can write a function for teacher and for students as per the operations required. Okay, so this is the two solution which comes to my mind when I think that I need to write a code to print the student details, date of admission, address, and similarly for the teacher. Okay, so but when you are writing a very big program, then for example, when you write the function df student details and df date of admission, okay, and similarly for the teachers, but at some point when you write a different, I mean a long program, it will be good to separate both segment. I mean, for example, there should be a, you can consider class not as a module, but you consider a class that हमने अगर एक क्लास लिखा तो स्टूडेंट्स का जो भी ऑपरेशंस है, whenever they want, whenever the other developer want to find anything related to student, okay, what are the functions related to students, what are the methods applied to the student, so they can have a look over the class of student. They don't need to check each and every code and see where are all the operations related to students and where are all the operations related to teachers. Okay, so to simplify the thing and simplify the thing in more and to present the thing in more better way, we will be using classes and objects इन पाइथन ऑल्सो देर आर क्लास एंड ऑब्जेक्ट्स, और फिर बहुत सारे लैंग्वेज में क्लास एंड ऑब्जेक्ट्स है, बस ये नहीं कि पाइथन में ही सारे लैंग्वेज में आपको क्लास एंड ऑब्जेक्ट्स का कॉन्सेप्ट है। पर आप लोग क्लास एंड ऑब्जेक्ट्स का यूज करोगे जब कोई बड़ा प्रोग्राम लिखते रहोगे, तो उस वहां पे आपको क्लास एंड ऑब्जेक्ट्स का यूज करना रहता ही है, ठीक है। क्योंकि ना क्लास एंड ऑब्जेक्ट्स है, मैं तो आपको एक बेसिक एग्जांपल बता रहा हूँ, पर क्लास एंड ऑब्जेक्ट्स से और भी वेरियस यूसेज है। जैसे आपका स्टूडेंट्स का डेटा है, ठीक है, तो आप वो डेटा को एज ए क्लास लिखकर वहां पे स्टोर कर सकते हो एज ए प्राइवेट मेंबर। So class and objects have बहुत सारे concepts. I mean, it's a very useful concept in programming, object-oriented programming. If you wanna have a look, you can have a look at it after the session. Okay, just Google down object-oriented programming in Python, और आपको जो भी डिटेल्स है, ठीक है, इसका वो आपको दिख जाएगा. Now, for example, we will be writing a class for student. So this is the syntax, okay, to define any class in Python. We will be using a class variable and then we will be using the class name. And ये याद रखना कि जब भी आप class name declare करोगे, इसका first letter capital होना चाहिए, ठीक है? Then what we will do? We will say that df, write a function. What is the function related to our print student details? Print name, print date of admission, and print address. Okay, so for example, we have declared this class. So once we have declared the class, we can include n number of functions. Okay, this is one simple function which I have wrote. You can include n number of functions. You can write a function, for example, df print marks or df print marks. For example, just I am taking print marks. You can write this function, and you can write n number of function as per the requirements of the class. So I'm using this simple function. Just I'm making you sure that how to use a class in Python, because we'll be using now, right? I mean the next the to write the yesterday's code using the object-oriented programming. Okay, so we'll be using this now. So let's see how to call any class. Okay, सो जैसे अब मैंने एक क्लास स्टूडेंट क्रिएट किया, ठीक है, तो वो जो स्टूडेंट है, तो अगर जो भी स्टूडेंट है, जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल आई क्रिएटेड क्लास स्टूडेंट और उसका एक है स्टूडेंट नेम दीपक, ठीक है, सो दैट दीपक विल कॉल एज अ ऑब्जेक्ट ऑफ दैट क्लास। आई मीन वो जो क्लास है उसका पार्ट है दीपक, सो दीपक इज कॉल्ड एज अ ऑब्जेक्ट ऑफ द क्लास। And whenever you need to create any object, you can just name anything as D. For example, I consider as obj1 equal to, and call the class name student. Okay, so here what you have called the, I mean, instantiated the object of the class. So here I have created an, okay Bhavna, df is a keyword which is used to define a function in Python. I have taught that in previous session. Okay, now let's try printing this object, print obj1. Let's see what you will get the output. As I told that this is the object of a class, so let's try printing this. What will we get the output? Student, this is a class. Okay, so now I will just assign, so for example here we are printing the name of this class. Okay, so अगर हम लोग को जैसे एक क्लास में जो भी डेटा यूज करना है तो उसका तो पहले हम लोग को वैल्यू इनिशियलाइज करना पड़ेगा. फॉर दैट वी राइट अ फंक्शन इज अ क्लास एज df self init, sorry, ओके. सो यहाँ पे ये जो ऑब्जेक्ट मैंने जब क्रिएट किया तो यहाँ पे आपको जो भी वैल्यूज यूज करनी है इस क्लास में, ठीक है, तो वहां पे आप ये पास करा सकते हो. फॉर एग्जाम्पल आई नीड टू यूज नेम, देन आई विल पास द नेम एज नेम दीपक. ओके, and the next thing I will pass as what I will pass the date of admission, for example 24th 25th August, and the next thing I will pass as address as that. Okay, so and here I will initialize all the value of this class to self dot name. This is the way of just initializing the value. Self dot name equal to name, and here I will take the name, date of self dot name equal to name, self dot admission, self dot okay, now let's call this function of the class and see what's the output. So we have created this function, I mean sorry, object of this class as obj1, and whenever we need to create, I mean call any function of the class, then we will just call using the dot syntax obj1 dot, what's the name of the function, print student. Let's try running this. Oh, sorry. Sorry, here I have declared this, but I haven't commented this line of code. So let me comment this because that will show an error for sure. And let's now try this. So यहाँ पे किसी को डाउट है क्या? पहले आप ये देख लो. हेलो, यहाँ पे किसी को डाउट है क्या? हाउ टू डिफाइन अ क्लास एंड हाउ टू इनिशिएट द वैल्यू ऑफ अ क्लास? Let me know in the comments before we move forward. Anyone have any doubt till here? Is my screen lacking? I think I moved forward. This looks fine. Okay, let's try running this code now. First, let's try printing the obj1. Okay, what way we get the output? Print obj1. As I told that this is the object of this class, so let's try printing this first. See, as I told here, we got the output as student object at. I means that this the obj1 is the object of the student class. If we want to create other object, then we will simply just define obj2 equal to student and just pass anything randomly. Okay. So for example, I will pass Rahul Mumbai and 21st. And let's print obj2. Again, it will say that this is the object of this class. So you got that this is the object of the class. Now we have, for example, passed the name arguments. Let's try accessing that what's the name of object one plus dot name. If you want to access any methods, okay, or any variables, the data members from this class, you can just use dot and what you wanna access. So obj1 dot name. So let's try running this. What we get? See, we got the output at दीपक. ऑब्जेक्ट वन जो उसका नेम क्या है? दीपक, क्योंकि हमने दीपक इनिशियलाइज किया हुआ है वैल्यू. ओके, सो वी गॉट द आउटपुट एज दीपक. अगर हमने ऑब्जेक्ट टू का नेम पूछा रहता, ठीक है, व्हाट्स द नेम ऑफ द ऑब्जेक्ट टू, देन वी विल गेट राहुल. ओके, let's try running object2 dot print student details. See, got that the student details is the मेथड ऑफ द क्लास. तो फंक्शन एंड मेथड जो पाइथन में एक ही बोला जाता है. और मैंने बताया होता है कि मैं अपन फंक्शन कैसे कॉल करते हैं. फंक्शन नेम and here the bracket, because I haven't included the bracket, so it didn't give me the output. It just said that this is the method of this class. And now try running this. Okay, sorry, print self dot name self dot. See, here we got the output of the print student details class, function we have called using object2 as what was the name we have passed Rahul, the date 20th August, and what is the address as Mumbai. So we can also similarly call this class for the other object. Let's call this class for object one. So I hope that you have understood what will we get the output now, because we are calling for object one. See, again we got the output as Deepak, 25th August and Delhi. Okay. So I hope that class is clear to you, how you can define a class in Python and how you can create different objects of the class and call any function of any class. Is this clear now? Can we move forward with our game? So we will be just converting the yesterday flow, the code in this form, the object oriented programming form. So is this clear now to you? Please ask if you have any doubts. इस क्लास क्लियर टू एवरीवन हाउ यू कैन डिफाइन ए क्लास. देखो, मैंने बस आपको दिखाई कि आप स्टूडेंट क्लास कैसे डिफाइन कर सकते हो, ठीक है. और आप सिमिलरली प्रैक्टिस कर सकते हो बाद में टीचर्स क्लास डिफाइन करने का. सिमिलरली यू विल यूज क्लास टीचर and then you will again write the same functions and the data which you want to use in this class. So it's clear now, I hope. अगर कोई डाउट है तो पूछ लो, ठीक है. Now we'll be just moving forward with our game. We'll be writing the yesterday's code using object-oriented programming. Okay, so now this is clear to you. Let's move forward with the game hour. Let's convert this using class. Okay. तो अब गेम में क्या है, आई मीन द एप्पल एंड स्नेक गेम में क्या है, एक तो ऑब्जेक्ट क्या है, आई मीन द एक क्लास का नेम हम लोग क्या रखने वाले हैं, अभी जो कल हम लोग डेवलप एक क्या आता है, एक तो पूरा जो एलिमेंट है पूरा गेम, उसके अंदर आ जाएगा विंडोज एंड ऑल द कीबोर्ड कीज विच वी हैव इम्प्लीमेंटेड, द बैकग्राउंड कलर, और सेकेंड एलिमेंट क्या था, द स्नेक. ओके, सो लेट्स डिफाइन टू क्लास एंड देन प्रोसीड विद इट. See, I will just not comment this code. We are using the same code, okay? But just we are converting this section of code using object-oriented programming. So let's just comment this. I won't delete it. Let's define a class for snake first. Class snake. ठीक है? First, what we need to do, we need to initialize the what we required in the class name. Okay. So def init self comma self. See, here what we required when we have created the block snake. Okay, so we need to place the block inside the surface. That's why in the init method we have considered the surface during the class snake. Okay, so now let's move forward. Now set the, for the snake, let's set the parent screen. I'm sorry, self dot parent screen equal to surface. You can also use self dot surface equal to surface, okay, as I have used in previous, but just to make it very clear to you, I use self dot parent screen. So parent screen means the window, I mean the complete window of the game. Now what I need to load the snake block. So snake self dot, मैं यहाँ से भी देखो कॉपी कर दूं तो कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, जस्ट आई नीड टू इनिशिएट द वैल्यू. ओके, then what we did yesterday, once we have loaded the snake block, we have set the snake block height and width. So self dot x equal to 100, self dot y equal to 100. ओके, यहाँ तक कोई डाउट तो नहीं होगा, मुझे तो जैसा नहीं लग रहा है कि मैंने अब तक कुछ ऐसा नया बताया हुआ है. हम लोग ने बस क्लास स्नेक कंसीडर किया. मैंने बोला जब हम लोग क्लास कंसीडर करते उसके जो भी प्रॉपर्टीज है, ठीक है, तो वो हम लोग वो क्लास में इंक्लूड करते. तो जो स्नेक है उसके प्रॉपर्टीज क्या है, फर्स्ट थिंग दैट स्नेक का जो वो है इमेज, वो हम लोग लोड हमने किए, और उसके प्रॉपर्टीज क्या क्या है, जैसे एक्स पोजीशन वाई पोजीशन वो हमने सेट किया, ठीक है, और स्नेक कहाँ पे प्लेस होने वाला है, जो स्क्रीन का सरफेस है वो हमने सेट किया. अब स्नेक में क्या है, I mean the other elements. The next is that we need to define the new position of snake. Say for example, if I click the left arrow button, then what will be the new position of the snake? Similarly, when I click the right arrow button, then what will be the new position of the snake? Okay, so let's implement that function. Def move left. Whenever the snake position, I mean whenever we implement, I mean press the left arrow key, then what will did yesterday? देखो यहाँ पे हमने क्या किया हुआ था, block x equal to block x minus 10. So same here we will do again. Self dot x equal to self dot x minus 10. Okay, and again what we did yesterday, once we have updated the position, then we have called the draw block function to update the new position of the snake. Then similarly call the draw block function self dot draw. चलो आप लोग अब इम्प्लीमेंट करो ये फॉर अदर ऑल्सो, ओके, आई मीन फॉर अदर पोजिशन ऑल्सो, वो नीचे का कोड देख के तो थोड़ा फास्ट हो जाएगा. def f move. मैं कुछ नया नहीं बता रहा हूँ, इसलिए आई थिंक इफ यू हैव एनी डाउट्स यू कैन आस्क, ओके, बट आई एम इम्प्लीमेंटिंग द सेम थिंग व्हाट आई डिड yesterday. So just I am using, I mean converting the yesterday code using class and object. So that's a better way to write anything. I mean whenever you are developing something, it's not like you can mess up the complete code in just one file. You need to separate each and every modules clearly. So it's not na that just you are going to write the code and you are going to read the code. क्योंकि जब भी एक बड़ा project रहता है, ठीक है, many developers are working on that project. So each and every developer to understand that what he is working on and what code he have written. It's not like just you need to understand. So that's why we use always good methodology in programming. Let's write the function self. Now what we'll do, we have written the keyboard elements for the snake. Okay, so whenever there's any keyboard event there, whenever the right button is clicked, the left button is clicked. Now let's do other thing, write the function to update the position of snake. Draw self. और देखो हमने कल फंक्शन में क्या किया होता, हम लोग सेम चीज ही करने वाले हैं यहाँ पे, ठीक है. सेल्फ डॉट, तो कल हमने यहाँ पे जो सरफेस कंसीडर किया था, ठीक है, सो व्हाट वी डिड हियर दैट पेरेंट स्क्रीन इक्वल टू सरफेस, दैट्स व्हाई वी विल यूजिंग हियर पेरेंट स्क्रीन. Now what we once we have filled the color, then again we will be drawing the snake at the new position. So we will be using blit. What will be drawing self dot block. Okay, we have used the block, and then again self at the new position self dot x comma self dot y, and again refresh the game window file game dot. ये ठीक है. यहाँ तक कोई डाउट है तो पूछो. वी हैव जस्ट डिफाइंड द क्लास नेम एंड वी हैव इंक्लूडेड ऑल द फंक्शंस which is required for the class name. Any doubt till here? Let me know if you have any doubt. Can we move forward now? We have defined the class snake, so I will be writing next the class game. So this is the complete class game, and will include in all the functions which is used by the class game. I hope we can move forward now. You don't have any doubts. Okay, now let's write the class game. So again, in the class game, first we will define the init method def init self. Let's in the class game कल हमने पहले सबसे पहले चीज क्या किया था, initialize the pygame module. So here also we did the same thing. Then we will be defining the surface. Okay, let's see line 54, and then let's see when we are defining the init method of the game class. Okay, again here we will be defining a surface again, self dot surface equal to pygame dot display. And let's draw now the snake on this game surface. ठीक है? So what will you do to draw the snake? Self dot snake equal to यहाँ पे आप लोग को थोड़ा नहीं समझ में आएगा, ठीक है? For example, okay, we have defined here the snake class. Okay, this snake class have all the properties of the snake. Okay, so in this snake class we have defined the screen color, loaded the snake image, and set all the left and right position. So जब हम लोग को ये surface के ऊपर snake create करना है, ठीक है? So instead of writing all the properties of the snake individual, we can simply call the snake class and provide the surface where we need to draw that. So simply we did that over here. Okay, and then we will call the snake dot draw function to draw it over the screen. So this was the init method of this class. Okay, again अब कुछ भी नहीं है, अब तो mostly we will be writing the what we did here yesterday. We wrote this running equal to true, so we will be implementing a function to see when the game is running or not inside the game module, I mean the game class, and then we implementing the same thing again. Do you have any doubt till here? Did you understood how I call this snake class in the game class? Any doubt? बादशाहों का बादशाह Okay, let's move forward now. Let's complete this game class now. Okay. Next, what I told, I will be writing the which function? Run function to check whether the game is running or not. Okay. They have run cell. What I did yesterday, running equal to true. And inside this, again, we will write the same code. What we wrote yesterday. I'm just copy pasting the code. Okay, you can also do if you want, not a problem. Sorry. Just I'll update the indentation. Okay. अब यहाँ तक कोई डाउट है तो बताओ. I think I haven't done anything new today. Just I have just wrote the same yesterday code in a better way. I think we can delete this now. No, we don't need this section of code. Okay. Okay, see here what we can do here instead. What we did in the snake class, we have written all the function to update the new position. Okay. So instead of updating the position manually whenever any key is placed, we can update by using the function in the snake class. So when the key is left, let's call the left function self dot snake dot move left. यहाँ पे देखो हमने एक स्नेक का ऑब्जेक्ट क्रिएट आई मीन स्नेक क्लास का ऑब्जेक्ट क्रिएट किया हुआ सेल्फ डॉट स्नेक and using that same object we are calling all the function of that self dot snake equal to move left and we don't need this now because we already implemented draw block function over there. Okay, and now let's similarly do for other also. Delete this. Let's write self dot move right. For up, let's call self dot snake dot move up, and similarly for down, self dot snake. देखो अब हमने जब ये सेपरेट कर लिया दोनों क्लास में, सो हाउ क्लीनर इट्स लुकिंग. Even now, whenever anyone will have a look, he can understand what the both class is doing, and the snake class and the game class. Okay, I will paste the complete code in the comment so you can check it when if you are facing any error. First, let me complete this. Any doubt till here? We wrote the snake class and we wrote the game class. Now do the final thing. Let's define the init method if name equal to Then we'll create an object game equal to, we'll call the game class. And then what we'll do? We will run the game dot run. Simple. देखो अब ये आप लोग एक बार अब कोई भी कोड दिखे उसको समझ में आ जाएगा अब ये कोड क्या कर रहा है, स्नेक का जो भी फंक्शन है वो कैसे वर्क कर रहा है, गेम का कोई भी फंक्शन वो कैसे वर्क कर रहा है, एंड हाउ वी आर कॉलिंग द मेन, आई मीन द मेन मॉड्यूल, द मेन से। बताओ अब ये कल से, आई मीन हैव वी रोट दिस कोड इन अ मच बेटर वे, व्हाट यू थिंक? लेट मी नो इन द कमेंट्स. Don't you think that this way to write any of the I mean any of the program or develop any of the software is much better? Okay, let's now try running this one. I hope there might be no error. Okay. Okay, there's some indentation error. Line 47. Okay, here it will be. I hope now it should move. Name wise not defined where in line 58 and 50. Line 58 was the, sorry, here it's self dot y. Okay. Okay, now it works. There were some minor issues. Okay, just I wrote comma instead of dot at one place and I just forgot to place an indentation. Now see it's working. So this was the desired output of yesterday also. And this is the desired output today when we wrote the same thing using the class. So how many of you got the output? Let me know in the comments. कितनों का आउटपुट आ गया when you wrote the same code using class and objects? Okay, Harshi got the output. Bhavna also got the output. That's great. So just you got the output, also you understood how to use a class and how to use the function, how to use multiple classes. Did you understood well how to define any class in Python and why we use a class? Okay, that's great. Okay, let's try something. Okay, what we can try for this. I think, okay, I will give a small task to you. You can try changing the color of the screen. Okay. And just, yeah, just try a simple thing. Just try to change the color of the screen. And if you can share the output in the comments, then just please share that. As I told you how you can add any color, surface color in Pygame. Just try changing the color of this. अच्छा चलो ये भी मत करो, just tell me which line of code we need to do the changes to change the color of the screen. Okay, just tell me in which line of the code we need to do the changes. Okay, if you want to use a background image, okay, then similarly you need to load the resources first, and you need to fill the screen using that background image instead of filling the screen using the color. First, tell me in which line of code we need to do the changes if you want to change the color. Okay, that's correct. Surface dot fill. Okay, which color you got, Harshit, when you have changed the color combination at 102, 204, comma 0? Okay, let me try that. Which color you got? Okay, we got a light lime green. Okay, yeah, that's nice. You try any RGB color combination. Okay, if you don't know the code, you can use Google and then you can use RGB color and you will get that RGB color code. Because RGB color code is also used widely in the web development. So we can't remember the color code combination, but we can check over, okay, and use that color combination. Okay, see, if, for example, we want red, then we need to use this. Or do we want yellow? I mean, don't take yellow because the block color is also as yellow. Let's take blue, 0, 0, 255. Okay, see, you got the blue color as the background. You can use any color which you think is good for you. Okay, that's not a problem. Just I'm showing you, I think many of the students have understood that what Pygame this function does. So if you are able to change the color, then you understood why we have used the fill. Okay, why we are using the blade, why we are using pygame.display.fill. That's the main thing you need to understand, because this is the game you are developing with me, and when the session ends, maybe you want to develop a new game and you know the function, okay, then for sure you can develop a new game. That how we can use Pygame, that's the main thing to learn. Okay, Harshit, to put any image as the background, first you need to load the image similarly as we have loaded the block over here, say, and then in the color that field, you need to use that image over there. I hope that should work. You can try that today and let me know if that works. Okay, friends, I hope it's good for today. Meet tomorrow. Bye. Bye, everyone. Let's meet tomorrow.